gonna leave the cottage then. You have not yet completed 2 hours of Piranesi, but you can come back later. What? How does that work? I have not? Okay. Piranesi is a treasure. Okay, what is that? You have completed a tour of Piranesi. The chaplains only allow 2 hours at a time before they temporarily close. So it's basically, yeah, I can keep going in there. Let's go with a different one then. So we went with the Grey Conformer. Let's go with, let's see, Grey Conformer. Let's go with the last one, so we start from the bottom. Choose the Glebe Performer as your guide. The one that smiles, I think, at the end. He tells you that this is the second of your 3 hours. The other chaplains wearily correct him. Yes, this is the second of my 2 hours. I don't like that. She reminds you this is your last tour of the day. Yeah, it is true. He reminds you that this is your last tour of the day. Yes, I'm not going with the... I'm not going with that one. I don't want to be lost in there. His hood hides the worst of him. Sure. The Glistening Deformer as your guide. A knotted, multi-jointed limb unwinds from the Glistening Deformer's sleeve. With surprising dexterity, he plucks an iron lamp from a high shelf. Follow me, he demands, or he commands. You follow him out of the cottage, up the gravel path, to the doorstep of Piranesi. Footprints are worn into the stone. He has no key. He unfurls a notched, scabbed finger from his unpleasant limb and slides into the keyhole. The door opens with a click, and you follow the deformer into the dark. Deeper into Piranesi, the deformer takes his hood down. Tangled flesh recoils in the cold air. He has eyes in all the wrong places. A dozen different varieties of mouth, gulps, a dozen gulps in unison. Better? Tension has drained from his voice. Welcome to the Warrens. You descend into a brick-walled pit, larger than a quarry. At the center stands a colossal column, honeycombed with tunnels, the holes so small you couldn't squeeze an arm inside. One gaunt prisoner sits atop a spiked wheel, casually aiming a rifle at the deformer's head. That's interesting. A prisoner with a rifle. And this is the quest. Potentially. Deference of the Deformer. I don't know how I gain deference, though. I suppose maybe with this? Insist that the rifleman lowers his gun. Yeah, lower his gun. Yeah, it wouldn't do to have your chaplain's head blown off this early into a tour. For all I know, that's gonna decrease the deference. I don't know. The rifle-wielding vigilante is a gaunt fellow, eyes deep-set and gleaming, cheekbones sharp as cut glass. His curly hair would sit much better on a fuller, healthier face. On hearing your protest, he pulls the trigger a few times, generating a chorus of unassuming clicks. Ain't loaded. Burned through my ammunition long ago. Except this. He points at a bullet hung around his neck on a length of string. Saving it for a rainy day. You notice the deformer gazing thoughtfully in your direction, with at least 3 of his eyes. Perhaps he appreciates your intervention on his behalf, however unnecessary. Guess a hand, he says. I need to change if I am to escape this place, right? But I am a stubborn fella. Oh, this is the gunman talking. Not one much prone to introspection, if you catch my drift. He gestures hopelessly at the Warrens. I need to have a shape in mind. I need to have a shape in mind as I crawl through, or else I'll just be squished to mush. Any suggestions? You can bring moments of inspiration to help the vigilante think of his new form. I think I might have a few. The vigilante salutes. Much obliged. I'll be here if you think of anything. And he has altered himself further. I have a bunch of moments of inspiration, so I could do that. I also have a check over here, which is interesting. Huh. Deeper into Piranesi, the deformer... Oh, no, that's the same as before. Okay, let's offer a moment of inspiration to the pragmatic vigilante. Help him think of a new, nastier shape. You sit beside the vigilante and begin offering ideas. When he likes what he hears, his skin ripples. Skin is so fragile. Has he considered a carapace? Eyes are a weakness when he could taste the air with his tongue. Then, oh, the possibilities for limbs. He objects to some of your proposals, agrees enthusiastically to others. Finally, his imagination stoked like a fire. The vigilante thanks you and begins to crawl into one of the tunnels. You leave him to his privacy as he threads himself in, inch by crunching and convulsing inch. Oh yeah, and I get a tale of terror. You could say that. We are gonna continue. I can also still convince him, which is weird. I shouldn't have been able to. Because an outward change isn't enough. I need to come back to give another... to give more help. Interesting. Let's follow the deformer. The deformer has stumped off to address a cluster of prisoners clinging to the central column. Haggard prisoners cluster on ledges like gargoyles, clinging by fingertips and tailbones. Most still look human. The Warrens are your salvation, says the deformer. Become glorious like me. Majesty is in monstrosity, beauty in abomination. One shivering wretch hops down. A volunteer, asks the deformer in delight, nudging him toward a tunnel far narrower than he is. On seeing the tunnel, the would-be volunteer changes his mind and backs away. I'm gonna persuade the prisoner to enter the tunnel. That's gonna get the deformer to like me for sure. The deformer looms over the poor fellow. How do you expect to escape here without the will to transform? You offer reassurance and hope, far more soothing than the deformer's sharp questions. Your words of encouragement take a moment to sink in. Finally, the prisoner nods, braces himself, and kneels down. He begins to work himself gradually into the tunnel with a series of agonizing pops and cracks. Some of the deformer's mouths smile in your direction. Well spoken? Following the volunteer's example, a few of the surrounding prisoners clamber down and search for an unoccupied tunnel of their own. This is the worst thing. This is literally the worst thing. Oh my god. I can't do anything else though. I'm gonna leave Piranesi. Maybe I can come back and convince more people to break their bones on Junji-Itsu style tunnels. The deformer stumps back up the stairs, squelching with every footstep, and you hurry at his heels. His many heels, I would assume. The glistening deformer... Oh no, what the heck is happening right now? Strides before you. Did I choose to go? Yeah, I choose to leave. The glistening deformer strides before you, putting his hood back in place. Up narrow stairs, over precarious bridges, beneath crumbling bartizans. The architecture seems to have changed since you last walked here, but it's as jumbled and oppressive as ever. You pass a squalling thing clinging to a wall. It lacks structure or substance, except its stark eyes. What was my name? It meows. I can tell it a story. Perhaps your words will soothe. Or I can give it a name. I don't want to do that. Why are you telling me this? The second rule of Piranesi. What if the second rule of Piranesi is to not have a name? Well, let's find out. Because I'm not telling my name. I hope the second rule isn't to not give people's name a name. Because if that is, I'm getting imprisoned. The first step to a new identity. The formless thing detaches from the wall and clutches at your knees, sobbing in gratitude. You sacrificed your free— Oh, crap! Oh, no. Oh, no. Why is it the rule to give people's names? That's not a rule. That's just weird. Why? It's just, why would people do that? I don't... You sacrificed your freedom for me. I am not worthy. A sudden weight at your wrist, a lamp shackled to your arm. Piranesi begins to expand around you, staircases lengthening, walls retreating. I'm sorry, says the deformer. You broke a rule. Don't worry. I can get you out of here in no time, and in a much more pleasing shape. You have broken the second rule of Piranesi. Don't give names to the nameless. Why is that a rule? You search for the chaplain, but they have slipped away. You're alone and imprisoned, and must change before you can hope to reach the exit. Yeah, I figured. I can just wander and search for an exit, apparently. I'll try to do that. That sounds good to me. With the lamp chained to your wrist, Piranesi's walls fall away. The prison blooms into an endless, nightmarish forest of bleak and shifting architecture. During tours with the chaplains, the prison at least adhered to conventional perspective and orientation. No longer. Upstairs, you may find yourself in the cellars. Descending, you arrive at a balcony. Yet no matter how you wander, Piranesi brings you back to the same place. A garden of cluttered stone statues. You've been convicted of only a minor infraction, and you shouldn't need to change too much before you are released. So I can alter a facet of my past. I can sacrifice my best qualities. Or I can approach one of the chaplains. Let's try that. What is this? If I have amendment of self, I don't need to wander in search of an exit, because I will know it. Yeah, perhaps they will remember who you are. Perhaps they will favor you above all the other hopeless souls. Chaplains will, if I can convince them. The chaplains stalk among the prisoners, offering advice on how to change, but Piranesi is vast, and many of the wandering prisoners have only encountered them in rumor and legend. They pass on stories of the chaplains in reverent whispers, as though they speak of gods or phantoms. Thanks to your tours, however, you know exactly where to find them. Which is good. I can ask the glistening deformer for help. Or I can ask the gallant reformer for help. And that's basically that. Interesting. Fermented. I don't like this. The chaplains cannot save you. Let's come back over here. Wander in search of an exit. If you have changed enough and are perceptive enough, you might find your way out. That might not be it, though. Attempting to navigate through Piranesi is like trying to steer a nightmare. Bridges shift beneath your feet, taking you back to where you began. Every corner you turn reveals another mile of the identical hallway. You must never, ever trust the staircase. After seemingly endless wandering, your shoes are in tatters and your feet blistered. You must be close by now. You simply must be. You stop short, finding yourself back where you started. Deep breaths. Calm. There's still a shred of hope. You have not yet changed enough to escape. That must be it. Well, I'm gonna talk to the glistening deformer for help then. You descend to the warrens and find him extricating a broken figure from a narrow tunnel. Enter the warrens, says the deformer. Take an interesting shape, but you hesitate, Not ready. Never mind, there are other ways. I used to be handsome. The warts on his neck blossom like flowers. Yet I never could help my eyes in the mirror. or could meet my eyes in the mirror. Now I can stare for hours. That's the first change you must make. Be fascinated by revulsion. Seek beauty in abomination. He takes you to a part of Piranesi you've never seen. A maze of mirrors. Your reflections sport tusks, beak clusters, eyes like bits of slime, or any one of innumerable other mutations. It is hours before you find the exit. The Devils of Carillon claim to be experts in the assessment of the improvement of the soul. They would describe yours as pungent, febrile, and unappetizing. I can fix it there, then. That's probably what fermented comes from, because that sounds like what it is. I have now an amendment of self, and I can search for an escape. Maybe. Attempting to navigate through Piranesi is like trying to steer a nightmare. Yes, yes. I think we did it. You feel a sudden, after timeless days, your shoes are in tatters and your feet blistered. As you pause, ready to give up, you feel a sudden lightness at your wrist. Your shackles have crumbled. The lamp clatters to the floor. You lift your weary head and find yourself staring at the exit and gained only 5 terror for what would be that awful thing. And now my incarcerated exclamation mark quality has gone. I do enjoy that. Polyhedric sculptures and... Oh, that's the eye-watering little thing. Turn and leave. It seems Piranesi is closed to visitors today. As you leave, you come across the glistening deformer in the cottage's herb garden. He's still wearing his hooded robes, but he's stuffed gardening gloves over the sleeves, and he's engaged in a furiously futile attempt to stamp his shovel into the stony soil. We're currently indisposed, he grunts, noticing you for the first time. We'll be open to visitors again in 2 weeks. As you turn to leave, he finally manages to embed his spade into the ground and levers up something tendrilled and twitching from the soil. Lovely. Just lovely. We have caged catches. Of course we do. Of course we do. And casks of Navarantine gemstones. We don't need these, though, but this is a bad place to be. This is a really bad place to be. I don't know. Let's not crash against anything. Salt Reach. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of things around here. Let's also look around, because we're going west. And there's gonna be a lot of things to explore. I guess we're going north. Oh, there's stone. And we found Sweet Mercy's Gather. Soon we'll level up as well, which is pretty good. I think I will focus on... I can't go on hearts anymore, so maybe mirrors? Mirrors and hearts. There's a bridge down there. Send the bat out again. We still have things to go, or places to go north to. We found something to the west. There's something here as well. It's treasure. Fuel! Oh, there's more treasure to the west. Is this a trap? Oh, it's one of those, okay. I have mining capabilities here. Widow's Walk. Good. Let's go west. Because that might be, for all I know, that might be where we're supposed to go. Oh no. Oh no. I think turning the light off might allow me to go by undetected. That didn't hit me. And this is a thing. I think it's a saying? Oh yeah, we did it. That's good to get those scrolls, I suppose. What do we have over here? There are the collie wobbles, where you never are alone in the dark. I don't want collie wobbles. I don't know what that is. Okay, that's not where I want to go. A little bit of supplies. That's really good. Let's go north. Give me something to the north. Oh! I found something to the south. We're going south. And there's somebody over there. I'm definitely going south. I'm also pretty sure they're going to come from the east. The spinsters. You'd expect them to be flanking me. really don't want to mess with them again. Such horrible creatures. We have something to the east for some reason. The game sometimes does that, and I don't know why. Like, it shouldn't be possible to aggro anybody on the land, because that's not how it works. The land doesn't exist. What do we have? What the heck do we have here? Oh, it's this. Is it? Thanks. What is that? I don't know what it is. I don't like it. The Collie Wobbles is where we are. We found something to the west. That sounds like a promising port. Our terror is not going to be a big deal, considering that this is all new ports, and I think the game basically is like every time you go to a new port, you lose terror. And if it isn't a new port, if you haven't, I don't know how it is. Or you can, like, every time you go to a port at all. Yeah, that's, I don't want that. I don't want that, any of that, forever. I don't know what enemy that was, though. There's darkness creeping in. There's something creeping in. Okay, relatively safe. You saw that at the edge of the screen. It wasn't like in the game. It was in the screen, and that happens, for example, in the icy areas. Dim your light, quiet your heart. The grievers are here. Thanks. You spy a scattering of amber fragments. Okay. What the? Shrill scream of scribe sprinsters. There's nothing here. Those are the things that make the noise. Send the bat out again. Can't carry see me though. Is that where the spinsters come out of? Is that why I have... Let's turn the light on again. I don't want to lose too much or gain too much terror. Huh. Oh, we're out. I wonder if that is where the spinsters come out of. If that's the case, then... No wonder I had... Oh. Friend? I'll bring you down. Calumer's channel. Looks like a friend. I mean, a weird friend, but still. Let's go back to Pen. The sound of far-off pipes. You near Pen, the unruly heart of Ulitheria. And also I need to go over to that side. This is not bad. I need to go over to that side because... Oh, this is a wall. Potentially dangerous. And here we are. Whew. Well, it's gonna be tricky getting money in here. But that's not really what we're after. Although I would like the best ship. What I'm after is the... I need to look at my notebook again. Oh, sorry. Bump the microphone there. Momentous exploit is what we want. But we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Sunless Skies. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.